diary on what could be a historic day in Canadian sports. My name is Peter Klein. Thank you very much for tuning in. No Shohei Ohtani stuff on this one. We're still waiting for things to be made official from the Toronto Blue Jays. It sure seems like it's trending one way, which has me buzzing. And so, admittedly, prep for this show is taking a little bit longer when after each team's prep, you, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Today is going to be about as rapid fire a football episode as you can get. And then I will stop. So Fights in Football Friday is going to be broken up. I am going to a wrestling show this evening, so I have a bit of a hard out. By the way, if you're in Calgary, I'm going to be ring announcing with Wild Rose Wrestling tonight, so come check us out. So any Shohei reaction will be tomorrow, and also the fights portion of Fights in Football Friday will also be pushed to the weekend. Deepest sympathies and apologies for missing that, but it's been a wild day on social media. If you guys are watching this or listening to this, you know it's been a wild day on social media. So follow me on the social medias, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I'm at Primetime Klein. Like me on, or not like me, geez. I mean, please like me. But like this video, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, listen to the podcast, and blah, 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 blah. Here's football stuff. All right, we begin with the Houston Texans taking on the New York Jets. Texans favored by 3.5 points. The total is a disgusting 33.5. Zach Wilson is back as the starting quarterback of the New York Jets, apparently against his better judgment, as he steps in against the Texans team that has started to have a bit of life with Trevor Lawrence down with an injury. It feels like things might be breaking the way of the Texans. They're 10th in EPA per play, 7th in EPA per dropback, 7th in success rate per dropback. They're throwing the ball really well, going up against the Jets defense that has been lights out this year. They're 5th in defensive EPA per play, but the offense is 30th, 31st, or 32nd in every category that I track on these. So EPA per play, success rate, dropback EPA per play, dropback success rate, rush EPA, and rush success rate. This team can't move the football. There is no world you could convince me that the Texans aren't going to cover this, so I have Houston minus 3.5. Tampa Bay taking on the Atlanta Falcons. The Buccaneers currently 21st in DVOA, Atlanta 25th, and we went on the Atlanta rant a week ago. You guys know where I come down on that. Defensively, this team has been better than you would think. They are 7th in defensive EPA per play. They are 4th in defensive success rate, and it breaks down from there. So this defense has actually been pretty good. The total's at 40.5. The under does look a little bit enticing. Tampa Bay's defense, the numbers don't like it as much, although DVOA does have it at 14th. I like Tampa Bay in this spot. We've talked before about the struggles of Atlanta and their quarterbacks and being able to move the ball. I actually think Tampa Bay is going to be able to move the ball on a pretty good Atlanta secondary. So I'm going to put Tampa Bay here as a pick, and we're just going to take them plus 120. Moving on. It is also, by the way, whoever at TSN thought to send out an alert for Robert Bortuzzo getting traded when we're all waiting for, these guys. How dare you? How dare you? All right, Detroit taking on Chicago. The Lions favored by 3. The total sits at 42.5. This one, the over could be intriguing. Chicago's defense has been pretty good so far this year in certain situations anyway. But they are still 20th in DVOA. And we've talked about the issues that Detroit's secondary has. This one, they're begging you to take Detroit here. And I'm kind of taking the bait. I do think Detroit's better than Chicago, but I do think that Chicago can take advantage of the holes in the secondary in Detroit that we've pointed out over the last few weeks. I do think that Chicago's defense can maybe take advantage of how turnover prone Detroit has been over the last little bit, so that there is absolutely upset potential in this game. I just think Detroit is a touch better right now, so I'm going to say Detroit takes this one minus 3. Jacksonville taking on Cleveland. The stats don't matter for either team. Trevor Lawrence may or may not play this week for the Jags. That's going to be a major part of this game, but Cleveland is obviously going with a backup quarterback the rest of the way, and I think the big difference maker in this game is the Cleveland Browns defense just giving Jacksonville some major issues. So I'm going Cleveland -2.5. Same thing here. Indianapolis taking on Cincinnati. The stats don't matter a whole lot. Cincinnati with a massive win on Monday night against the Jags. They are favored in this game. People continue to sleep on the Colts. Gardner Minshew has continued to lead this team to success, and I think that continues this week. Like, the defense isn't very good. This could be a bit of a shootout, in which case I will take Gardner Minshew over Jake Browning. I just will. So give me the Colts here, +110. LA Rams taking on the Baltimore Ravens, a couple of teams who have my heart. Baltimore sitting at -7.5. The total is at 40.5. I'm going Baltimore in this spot. We have seen this season, the one thing Baltimore has done really well, it's treat bad teams like bad teams. Like, they went out and just put a whooping on Seattle. They did the same thing to Detroit. If you have a bit of a weakness, this team will expose it. They are clicking on offense. The defense has been strong all season long. They have the top-rated defense when it comes to efficiency in the National Football League. So while the Rams offense has been getting better, they've won 3 games in a row. They've kind of squeaked it out in all 3 games. I like Baltimore here to make a real statement again and kind of solidify themselves as a top team in the AFC. Give me the Ravens, -7.5. Carolina taking on New Orleans. We don't know who's going to be playing quarterback this week for New Orleans. I think their defense absolutely shuts down anything the Panthers try on offense. But the Panthers offense has done a pretty good job of shutting down anything the Panthers have tried on offense. And New Orleans' offense has not been moving the ball really well. So I'm going to go under 38 in this spot. Minnesota taking on Vegas. It sounds like Josh Dobbs is going to play. It sounds like Justin Jefferson's going to play. That is a huge boost for this Vikings team against the Raiders secondary that struggles. 23rd in defensive success rate, 19th in defensive EPA per play. They are 23rd in defensive efficiency. So not great. And their offense, equally not great. Things have come back down to earth for Antonio Pierce after a couple of really fun wins to start his tenure. The Vikings, I think, are a significantly better football team, and to only need 2.5 for them pains me as a Raider fan, but give me Minnesota, -2.5. Seattle taking on San Francisco. These two teams played on Thanksgiving night, and San Francisco, to put it politely, kicked the shit out of them. There was a bit there where Seattle was like, hey, are we going to come back? And San Francisco was like, LOL, no. They are playing like the best team in football right now. No one is playing better offense. No one is playing defense better than them. Just no one is clicking as well as the San Francisco 49ers team is. I think they light up Seattle one more time. The Seahawks offense has not been the same as it was a year ago. This defense has really struggled in ways that people were not expecting. I think San Francisco, this is another one where the 49ers absolutely blow them out of the water. Denver taking on the LA Chargers. The Chargers somehow favored by 2.5 points in this game. Total sits at 43.5. You cannot make a compelling case for me to take the Chargers in this game. You just can't. They continue to drop the ball literally and figuratively in every scenario. And yes, they beat New England 6-0. Congratulations. Denver is playing like a better football team right now. More talent certainly resides on the Chargers side, but that's been the case all year, and this team has a losing record. The defense is atrocious. The offense, 20th in EPA per play, 23rd in success rate. So they can move the ball sometimes. Like, they're 6th in drop back success rate. So when they are throwing the ball, it tends to go kind of well. But as an overall offense, they just aren't moving it well enough. So no, I am not trusting anything with the LA Chargers. Give me Denver +130 as my dog loses it in the background. My dog just started barking. I was like, oh, do you think she knows about Shohei? That's where I'm at with Shohei Ohtani right now. Buffalo taking on Kansas City in a marquee matchup of the weekend, or one of them anyway. Buffalo comes into this game as a 1.5 underdog. They have been playing better. People are starting to side with them. Well, Kansas City coming off of another game that they kind of fumbled away against the Green Bay Packers. The fact of the matter is Kansas City has been kind of mid this season. They are 16th in EPA per play. The defense has been what has kept them in these games. They're 10th in defensive EPA per play, 5th in success rate, 4th against the pass, drop back EPA per play, and 2nd in drop back success rate for the defense. This defense has been excellent, and so I do worry about them giving Josh Allen a bit of a hard time here for the Bills, but I think the Bills at least cover this one. Like, maybe Kansas City gets a late field goal to win this one by 1, but I will take the points with the Buffalo Bills. The under is actually a sneaky good play here at 48 and a half. Philadelphia taking on Dallas, Sunday Night Football. The Eagles coming off of a really bad loss against San Francisco, while people are high on the Cowboys. Dallas outplayed Philadelphia when these two teams played earlier this season. Philadelphia ended up winning that game. I can't imagine that this Philadelphia team doesn't take a lot of lessons from that loss Sunday afternoon against San Francisco. We have not seen the best of Philadelphia this week. I am banking on us doing that. I think Philly takes this one, and so I'm going Philly with the as an upset play. Plus 162 is my pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. Tennessee taking on Miami. The Dolphins favored by 13.5 points, and this is what we talked about last week against Washington. Tennessee's defense isn't very good, and Miami doesn't give two fucks about running up the score. They are one of the better teams in the league at just beating the brains in of bad football teams. So that is what we are probably going to see here. I think Miami solidifies their spot as one of the top offenses again with a dominant win over Tennessee. And Green Bay taking on the Giants. The Packers are finally the team we thought they were going to be. Things have started to click for Matt LaFleur's offense going up against a Giants team that started to figure some things out with Tommy DeVito. It ain't going to be this week. Give me the Packers minus 6.5. Told you it was going to be rapid fire today. I got Shohei's plane has landed in Toronto. Let's see what's happening. But yes, we are going to have something Shohei related whenever he signs. Doesn't have to be the Blue Jays. There's a lot of reaction from a Toronto standpoint, from an LA standpoint, and the rest of the league regarding this once this all goes down. So probably won't have anything tonight unless he signs in the next 2 minutes. But it's going to be a monster deal, whatever it is, and we'll break it all down here once that happens. And then we will get to the fight portion that was supposed to be today. That'll be another kind of mini-sode coming out tomorrow. So remember to podcast form, rate, review, and subscribe wherever you can. Social media, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. I'm at Primetime Klein, twitch.tv/primetimepk, and you can email this show, couchpotatodiary@yahoo.com. So you guys know the schedule. Thank you guys. It's always fun. I'm going to go back to scrolling Twitter. Talk to all of you later.